Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur's Ultimate Tax, where we uncover the true costs and threats to the entrepreneur's path to prosperity. Today, I have the pleasure of having Mr. David Yassa on the call, the growth coach, to discuss his journey in becoming an entrepreneur and the work he is doing to help other entrepreneurs in his community. Before opening the growth coach, David was a leader in the medical device industry where he built, managed, and led sales teams across different countries, launching products, managing trade shows, strategic accounts, and building and sustaining relationships with key opinion leaders, including C suite executives across different industries, while also managing the profit and loss statements in those countries. David is bilingual and has an executive MBA degree from Holt International Business School, where he graduated with honors. He is also certified in the Growth Coach's strategic mindset coaching process. Today, as a growth coach, David invests his day in his passion, which has always been helping people learn, grow, succeed, and then continue to grow, not only for himself, but for his colleagues, employees, and companies he works with. He is looking forward to putting that to work as a growth coach and helping business owners and leaders in his community find success and balance. David, welcome to the show.
Keith, you make me sound like a hero. I like that. Thank you.
Well, what's funny is that I remember seeing your picture continue to show up in my recommended connections on LinkedIn and on Facebook for at least a year before we were actually formally introduced. And something in your smile and your eyes, I'd be like, I feel like I know this guy. I feel like I'm either supposed to know him or I already know him, and it just so happened that we would know so many common contacts, which I think is a testament to your mindset, your attitude, and your investment in your community. So I'm honored to have you on the show. Thank you for being with me.
The honor is mine, my friend, and
Yeah,
thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your podcast.
yeah, absolutely. So when I was looking through and your bio and your LinkedIn profile, um, can, I was just very curious in terms of just the journey in terms of becoming an entrepreneur. Can you kind of take a step back in your journey and just tell us where this all started? Like, where are you from, and then how your work journey, you know, pushed you more closer to becoming an entrepreneur and then launching the growth coach?
Well, it felt like everything fell in place to
Hmm.
be where I am at now at this very moment.
Yeah.
Uh, I am originally Egyptian. I was born and raised in Egypt, and
Okay.
I graduated as an electronics and telecommunications engineer. But
Hmm.
I found out early on in my life that I like people way
Mm.
more than machines, and I like
Mm.
the business side of the world way more than the technical side of the world.
Mm.
Um, and you said it, it's my passion. It feels like I've been doing coaching for my whole life.
Mm.
I've led teams in different countries across different functions. I have sustained double digit growth in those
Mm.
companies I worked for,
Hmm.
and I was able to retain my employees.
Mm.
I believe in the past 17 years of my life, I've only lost two of them resigned. One was because they wanted to continue their education,
Hmm.
and the other one had some family matters to take care of.
Hmm.
And I do believe that this is one of the core um, missions of business leaders is
Hmm.
to maintain and grow the talents they have,
Hmm.
which and the assets they have, which is mainly their employees.
Hmm. What do you think the key is for organizations right now, especially in the, I wouldn't call it post-COVID world, but we're on I would believe to be the tail end of a lot of the shock for sure in terms of like, in the beginning of the pandemic, no one really knew. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what to expect, but we kind of have a good feeling of what to expect now. And now we have this, whether it be the great resignation or just issues with companies attracting the right employees. What do you think the key is to attracting the right employees, but then also retaining the right employees?
That's a great question. I think one thing that is happening now is that the world is changing, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to talk about that because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
But then a key component in today's world is that you need, or business owners need to understand that it is a world of abundance
Yeah.
and there are so many opportunities. All you need to do is to have this mind shift, is to
Mm-hmm.
change your mindset
Mm-hmm.
a little bit in order for you to get out of whatever we're into now,
Mm-hmm.
bigger, better, stronger, and faster.
Yeah.
And it all starts with the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of companies are having difficulties reformulating their visions right now.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing those companies need to start doing, they need to start just taking that step back, looking around them, and saying, this is where we want to be in 3 years from now. This is how our vision should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main things companies, business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders kind of struggle with.
Mm. Why is that? Why do people struggle, business leaders struggle with creating a vision?
It's because they are in it. Their feet are deep into their business. They do not take that time. They do not take that step back and look at the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
This is one. Second thing, leaders need to realize that the vision impacts the direction
Mm-hmm.
and it impacts the priorities. And in order for them to know their direction and priorities, they need to have a clear vision.
Yeah.
Second thing, they need to really communicate that vision because visions are supposed to galvanize teams
Mm-hmm.
and make those teams work together and be really excited about reaching the company's goals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So business owners also kind of struggle with communicating that vision to their teams and to those people who matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the two main things business owners should be doing right now:
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
formulating visions
Mm-hmm.
and communicating those visions.
Thank you first and foremost for what you just shared. I think that's a major component for sure. One of the things that I can hear entrepreneurs say is, well, you know what? Like, I really need this short term fix because in order for me to build my vision, I need to make sure that I can keep my business open. Like, I need to be able to create the revenues so that I could take time off to go build the vision, right? Like, sometimes that chicken and the egg time conversation, right? Like, well, I'll get to that. I want to get to building the vision, but first I have to make sure my family can eat. Like I remember someone came to me with that recently, with like, hey, I just talked. They had talked to a restaurant owner, and the restaurant owner came to them and said, hey, look, I have to decide between feeding my family or feeding my customers, right? Like if someone's in that position, how do they create a vision from that place?
That's a great question. Let's agree that the vision
Mm-hmm.
should be the foundation of the business. It is
Yes.
the core value and
Mm-hmm.
purpose of the business plus
Mm-hmm.
the envisioned future.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot see where you're going,
Mm-hmm.
you will not be able to move forward. The vision should be as clear as the
Mm-hmm.
stars in a dark night.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
And you
mhm.
should see the vision from far because
Yeah.
once you do that, you will
Mhm,
be able to navigate what's going on right now.
mhm, mhm,
Second thing is that vision should be communicating with your team, your referral partners. It should be communicating with people that matter to you.
mhm,
It should be, you should seek feedback about the vision. You
mhm,
should go to your referral partners and be like, okay, here's my vision. What do you think? And
mhm,
then they should give you some feedback.
mhm.
And then once you do that, you should bring your team on board and be like, okay, guys, this is the vision. This is
Yeah.
where we want to be.
Mhm,
And when you do this, you start breaking down that vision into short term goals.
mhm,
And when you break down the vision into short term goals, the short term goals will help you feed
mhm,
your family, feed your clients, feed your referral partners.
mhm,
And once you break down the vision into short term goals, you will be able to put together plans. You will be able to put together strategies in order for you to reach those short-term goals.
Mhm.
This is how you move forward. This is how you navigate all the change happening around
Mhm.
us right now.
If I understand you correctly, is creating a vision doesn't necessarily cost money, but it does take time. And regardless of where you're at in your business, it sounds like you need to have a vision and you need to work on that vision because that's a key component to your growth as a business because you need to go out and communicate that to your customers to create loyal customers, to create loyal referral partners and strategic partners and things of that nature. If you're trying to get from point A to point B, especially as it relates to building your revenue, your vision isn't separate from what you need to accomplish as it relates to building revenue. It will only supercharge your ability to grow your business. Is that what you're saying?
Perfectly said. That's exactly how visions work. And
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not going to cost you any money.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do is see where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's all what you need to do. And then once you have that dream
Mm-hmm.
written down as a
Yeah.
vision, you will be able to relate to that dream and
Mm-hmm.
it will impact all of your actions right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And once you do that, your revenues will grow. You will know how to manage your profits. You will know how to manage your expenses. You will know how to feed your family.
I agree. I agree. How did you get or become passionate about this area in terms of like helping people learn, grow, and succeed? Because I didn't take a class for like there was no class for that at school I went to. Like becoming passionate about not only my own personal growth but also the people around me.
I have always been a people's person, and
Yeah.
uh, I've always enjoyed seeing people grow.
Yeah.
Uh, and when I thought about business coaching, I was like, boom,
Yeah.
you know, I am gonna do what I love, and
Hmm.
money is gonna come as a byproduct.
Yeah.
It really, let me put it that way, it really
Hmm.
turns me on when I see my clients growing,
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
see my clients discovering where they're at now,
Yeah.
and then rediscovering where they want to be, and then we walk together that journey of growth
Hmm.
through structured processes.
Hmm.
It's an amazing journey,
Hmm.
and I'm enjoying it
Yeah.
every day, every hour.
Let me push on that a little bit. So let's say my vision was to, like um, I want to sell televisions, right? And not the new televisions like flat screens, but I want to sell like the really heavy Mitsubishi televisions that used to, weigh 500 pounds. How would you work with me as an entrepreneur if my vision was to make sure that every home had a CD player, or every home had a DVD player, or a phonogram, or you know what I mean? I don't know, like some old technology. Like, how do you, right? Like, what would you, how would you work with me as an entrepreneur and help me determine, like, yes, my vision is to grow a business and reach $10 million in revenue, but the window for the product that I sell is outdated. Like, how would you work with me as an entrepreneur to determine whether what I'm into, like the market's not into anymore?
So the first step we're going to do together is that
Hmm.
we're going to face reality.
Yeah. Okay.
I love putting it this way because guess what?
Yeah.
I have had some clients where we sat and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what our market reality is.
Hmm.
And once we face it, we
Hmm.
start changing
Hmm.
things a little
Hmm.
bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
And once we do that, we are going to start discovering what your strengths are and
Hmm.
what your team's strengths are
Yeah.
and what your offering strengths are.
Hmm.
And then we're going to capitalize on what you have that can provide value for people.
Yeah.
I always tell people this: selling is not about selling a product.
Mm,
Selling is about selling an experience.
mhm,
It's you're selling pride, joy,
mhm,
peace of mind,
mhm,
profit,
mhm,
experience, and benefits.
mhm.
Those are the things you're selling.
Yeah.
If what you have now can provide these and can meet some unmet needs
Mhm,
for a targeted group of clients that are having those unmet needs,
mhm,
we're going to start working together on making sure that this group of clients can see the value in what you sell
mhm.
and can feel that they are getting more than what they are paying for. And then we go from there.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, this can apply to any kind of product as long as you're able to meet an unmet need
Mhm,
and you're able to convince a group of clients
yeah.
that your service and solution
Mhm,
will meet those unmet needs and they will be getting more than they are paying for.
mhm. Wow. Can you talk to us about flexibility? When we were going through your bio, it highlighted the fact that you manage P&Ls across different countries. And many of the entrepreneurs that listen to the show have businesses maybe in the same market or different market, or same industry, different market, right? Like they may have a restaurant here, a restaurant in California. They might have a, car washing business or facility here and another one in Texas. How do you feel your experience in terms of the flexibility relates to an entrepreneur who also has to manage P&Ls in different from different markets?
That's an amazing question. The answer to your question is agility.
Hmm.
People are different, markets are different.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hmm.
It's about what people need.
Hmm.
It's not about what you can offer.
Hmm. Okay.
If we're talking about the restaurant industry, for example,
Yeah.
the taste buds of the people in Portland are kind of different from those taste buds of the people in Texas,
Yeah.
and they are different from those who are in Egypt, since I'm
Hmm.
Egyptian,
Hmm.
or those who are in Dubai, or those who are in India.
Yeah.
You will need to kind of tailor your services a bit in order to meet people's needs, and you need to
Hmm.
have enough flexibility
Hmm.
to do so. You
Hmm.
need to study your market really well and study your target audience really well and make sure that your solution,
Yeah.
and I will stress on the word of on this word, the word
Yeah.
solution.
Hmm.
Your solution is tailored enough to meet your target audience.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you need to be very agile when it comes to
Yeah.
this.
Hmm.
Very agile. One more thing is vigilance. You need to have your eyes open.
Hmm.
Make sure that you're following the market trends.
Hmm.
Make sure that you know that the world around you is changing really fast.
Yeah.
And you need to have enough vigilance and agility
Hmm.
to adapt to those changes.
Yeah. How does a relationship with an advisor or a coach or board of directors play into that ability to be agile? Because I imagine that sometimes those can be benefits, but if you don't have the right ones, then it could be somewhat of a hindrance to a business, right?
I have always said that all successful entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
successful business owners,
Hmm.
successful CEOs, C suite members,
Yeah.
directors, they have some kind of an advisory board.
Yeah.
This advisory board allows them to take that step back,
Hmm.
raise their heads above the water level a bit, look around them and see what's happening.
Yeah.
Take that time
Hmm.
where they can see their business from above
Hmm.
and decide on the steps forward.
Yeah.
Because when you're working in your business day in, day out, you're missing opportunities.
Yeah.
When you take that step back and start looking around you, you're going to be able to know what's really happening,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to be able to decide on what the next steps are. I always relate to that by saying, look, when you're driving your vehicle,
Yeah.
you have two inputs, or actually three inputs: the gas pedal,
Mm-hmm.
the brakes, and the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And your outputs are speed and direction. Imagine you're driving your vehicle with your eyes closed.
Mm.
Your inputs are, you're not going to be able to control your inputs based on the outputs
Mm-hmm.
coming out of your business. Your eyes are that feedback loop that is making you change
Mm-hmm.
your inputs in order to impact your
Yeah.
speed and direction. And that's what an advisory board, or a business coach, or a consultant would
Mm-hmm.
help you do.
Yeah. I agree. That is, I remember when I started my company, I had reached some difficult situations, and it was only in my ability to reach out to someone who was further ahead, had more business experience, who's an advisor of mine, for him to say, actually, no, actually, you're doing pretty good. It actually gave me the hope that, oh, like, actually, oh, I'm actually doing okay. All right. It kind of gave me the permission to continue to move forward because, you know, had I reached out to anyone else who hadn't experienced that, they might have said, man, you should go back and get a job because it's not going well.
I I know, and guess what? Nobody is an isolated island.
Yeah.
Reach out to people.
Yeah.
Reach out for help whenever you want to.
Hmm.
Do not, this mindset of I'm gonna do it all by myself
Hmm.
does not help.
Hmm. Yeah.
You really need to reach out to people for help. And I do that. I have
Yeah.
my own coach. I
Hmm.
have my own mentor.
Hmm.
And whenever I need help, I reach out to them. So
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about leadership. Obviously, leadership in terms of personal leadership is important because you need to, first and foremost, be able to lead yourself before leading others. Let's talk about the great attributes of a leader because obviously, once you've moved past the point of being a solopreneur and now you start thinking about scaling and hiring a team, it brings about some different attributes that are, very different as it relates to working with other people and inspiring other people, especially after you have your vision in place. So, what are the attributes that leaders need to develop in order to build a great business?
I say that the attributes of great leaders are three,
Okay.
and they're very easy to remember.
Okay.
The first one is self awareness. A
Okay.
leader should
Mm.
really know themselves really well. They
Mm-hmm.
should know what they like and what they dislike.
Mm-hmm.
They should know if they are people oriented or they are task oriented. They
Mm.
should know if they are more of an active leader or a passive leader.
Yeah.
And there's no good or bad as long as you
Mm-hmm.
know who you really
Mm.
are.
Mm-hmm.
Self awareness is a key. It's the first attribute to good or great leadership.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is what we spoke about a minute ago, which is they need to know how to create the vision and
Mm-hmm.
how to communicate the vision. Guess what? Creating a vision without communicating it will not lead
Mm-hmm.
anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're a solo entrepreneur, you
Yeah.
still need to communicate your vision because
Yeah.
you have friends, you have family,
Yeah.
you have referral partners, you have
Mm-hmm.
contractors, you have subcontractors,
Mm-hmm.
you have part-timers. All of these people, they need to know where your vision, where you want to go.
Yeah.
And the third one, and it is a very important one, is to create an environment for success for yourself and for your team members.
Mm-hmm.
You, as a leader of your business, are the main one responsible for creating an environment of success. And you do that by making sure that you, your employees, your referral partners, and whoever matters are highly engaged in your business.
Mm.
And there are ways to raise the engagement
Mm-hmm.
that you can easily do that by some simple steps. Those people who are actively disengaged, they not only not act, but they actually act up. While people who are actively engaged, they are so involved in the business. And you can engage people by simple steps. One of them is celebrating success. Sometimes business owners forget to celebrate success.
Yeah.
And I always say this: celebrate small wins.
Yeah.
Those small milestones that you reach, you need to celebrate them. Second one is have open and honest communication with your team members and with your referral partners and with your employees.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is make it social. Business is
Mm-hmm.
not only about processes, it's also about people.
Mm-hmm.
And people are social creatures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make it social with your clients, with your team, with everybody that is a part of your business.
Mm.
And seek feedback.
Mm.
Make sure you ask for feedback. Make
Mm.
sure you ask even your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you ask them, how am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you ask your team members,
Yeah.
what can we improve?
Mm-hmm. Ask. That's a huge. What'd you say number 2 was?
The first one is celebrate success.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Second one is have open and honest communication.
Okay.
Third one is make it
Make it
social.
social. Yeah. And then seek
Yep.
feedback.
And fourth one is seek feedback. And the fifth one is the platinum rule.
Mm. What's that?
You want to know what the platinum rule is? So
Buy 'em platinum chains. Buy platinum chains for the whole team.
so so in general, the platinum rule is treat people the way they want to be treated.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, but with your employees, it is provide your employees with what they need.
Mm.
This is the platinum rule of
Yeah.
a business. Make sure you provide your employees with what they need.
Can I ask about that? Because how, as your organization continues to grow, I can imagine that the needs of your team members is vast, right? You have some people who are like, let me just work, get out of the way, don't talk to me, right? And then you have other people who are like, I want video games, I want beer on tap, I want, right? I want car, I want, right? So how do you manage, and then how do you manage that? But then also, how do you, at a certain point in my path as an employee working for organization, I wasn't self-aware. I didn't know what my needs were. I didn't know what would allow me to be more successful within an organization, right? And so how do you not only manage everyone's needs, but also help your employees recognize what truly contributes to their performance as an employee?
Great question.
Yeah.
It starts from the point of thinking about hiring an employee.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
that's,
Sure.
that's where it
Yeah.
starts from.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
One, when you're self-aware
Yeah.
as a business leader,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you will know what you need.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you need a personal assistant or an executive assistant, and that executive assistant is going to take care of the back office work, and they are not going to be facing clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That means that this executive assistant should be task oriented.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to hire a people oriented person for that job, you are torturing them.
Yeah.
People oriented people, they prefer to be in front of people. They prefer to be talking on the phone. They prefer to be outside. They prefer to be doing customer service and you know being with clients.
Mhm.
But those who are in the back office usually are task oriented.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you hire the right person.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's first. And
Yeah.
you hire the right person by making sure you understand what this position exactly needs. So
Yeah.
you need to write down a proper job description.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you need to make sure that you interview people properly.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
You need to understand those you are going to hire before you hire them.
Mm. Mhm.
Once you hire the person, you need to train them, because even if they are the best at what they do,
Mhm.
they do not know how you want them to perform.
Mhm.
You need
Yeah.
to train them on what you want them to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fourth one is that you need to motivate them.
Mm.
Motivation is a key. Again, a motivated employee is a highly engaged employee.
Mhm.
Make sure
Yeah.
that your team is motivated.
Yeah.
And then the fifth one is that you need to pay them,
Mhm.
of course.
Yeah.
And then once you motivate and pay them, you need to hold them accountable.
Mm.
And holding them accountable is a big subject that we can talk about for hours and hours.
Mm. Mhm.
But one thing I tell business owners is, if you're going to set goals and timelines, make sure that you remember those goals and timelines. I have seen business owners and business leaders who would be like, okay, I want this from you by Tuesday, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then Monday comes and they don't check in. And then Tuesday goes, and then Wednesday goes, and they forgot.
Yeah.
They forgot about what they needed, and
Yeah.
the employee forgot about what they were supposed to deliver.
Yeah.
Make sure you hold your employees accountable. They need that from you.
Yeah. Mhm.
They not only need to be motivated and they need to be paid, they also need to be held accountable. And
Yeah.
there are methods or ways to hold people accountable.
Mm. How do we broaden our tool set when it comes to accountability as leaders? Because I've heard the phrase, and I'm sure you have too, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So we see leaders that are inflexible in their ability to work with different types of people, but also not only work with them, but hold them accountable. How do we broaden our tool set as it relates to our ability to hold our different teams and different personalities accountable?
One is what we just spoke about, which is knowing who you are
Mm-hmm.
and knowing the people around you.
Yeah.
As a business leader, you need to know these two things.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is situational leadership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you this question, Keith, I'm gonna mention 5 types of leadership, and I want you to tell me which one you are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you the coercive leader? Are you the one who would say, I want you to do this now? Are you the pace setter? Are you the one who's going to be like, okay, team, we need to finish this fast because we have a deadline. The deadline is tomorrow. We
Mm-hmm.
need to finish all of these tasks and make sure that we present in front of our client a full solution?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be the affiliative? You're Are you going to be the one that would be like, that would lead by example,
Yeah.
that would jump in and do the work themselves in order for the rest of the team
Mm-hmm.
to get encouraged and start doing the work as well?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be the democratic leader? Are you going to be the one who would be like, okay, we have this team, we have this situation, You explain it, and then you're like, let's take votes.
Mhm.
Or are you going to be the coach? Are you going to be the one who would say, okay, David, next time you did really well, but next time when you face the same situation, I want you to do this, and that,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
because you're going to have a better outcome.
Yeah.
Which one of these are you?
Well, I believe that it depends on the situation, right? Depends on the situation. And as you know, there's when it comes to awareness and personality assessments and things like that, there's who you are to the public, there's who you are under pressure, right? And then there's how you see yourself. And all those things probably play into what the situation is because there's certain aspects of me who's like, let's go, let's do this because under pressure, this is the answer. We need to work. There's also been other situations where it's like, well, I'm getting better about this, where it's like, well, I need this, I need to be more affiliative to step in and like provide the way and I'm going to do it first and you watch and that. And then there's opportunities where I'm like, well, maybe I need to be a better coach in this situation here. So very situational.
And this is very true.
Hmm.
And that's what I tell business owners and leaders.
Hmm.
Uh, if you want to hold your team accountable, you need to be a good situational leadership. You
Hmm.
need to make sure when to be coercive, when to be a coach, when to be affiliative, when to be a pace setter. And you need to be aware of yourself and aware of the team members around you.
Hmm.
Let's go back to that PA. That PA is a task oriented person. So one thing that will motivate that PA is tasks and a deadline to complete those tasks.
Yeah.
While another one, your CSR, your customer service representative, is a people oriented person, and you want to motivate them.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, okay, I want you to do this for me. And once we finish this project,
Yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
and once we make sure that we service that customer in the best way possible, you and I are going to take the team out, and we're going to go to do go-karting or
Hmm.
to do some paintball activity.
Hmm.
You need to know what really motivates your team.
Hmm.
And this is again back to self-awareness, knowing the people around you, and situational leadership.
Hmm.
And then you need to make sure that you're delegating in the right way as well. If you want to if you want to hold people accountable,
Hmm.
you need to make sure that you're delegating jobs and tasks in
Hmm.
a proper way.
Yeah. What's the proper way?
One, you need to explain what the task is.
Hmm.
Uh, if you're gonna throw somebody into the ocean, you need to teach them.
Yeah.
You need to tell them how long they are gonna swim and you need to teach them how to swim.
Yeah.
This go figure thing, especially with new employees,
Hmm.
doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Give them some of your time.
Hmm.
You need to spend some time with your employees in order to teach them
Hmm.
what needs to be done. So you need to make sure that your task is clear.
Yeah.
This is one.
Hmm.
Second thing, as we said, you need to teach them how the task is done, especially if they're new.
Hmm.
Third thing, you need to make sure they know how the task should look like after completion. You need to tell them what the outcome should look like. If you want them to, for example, put together an Excel sheet, a spreadsheet for you,
Hmm.
make sure you tell them what columns, what are the columns and
Yeah.
what are the rows in that Excel sheet.
Hmm.
Um, just explain to them.
Yeah.
And then make sure there is a deadline. Make sure you tell them, I want this to be completed by a certain date and a certain time.
Yeah.
And then the fifth thing, you need to give them the WIIFT syndrome, which
Mm.
is what's in it for the team once this task is completed.
Mm.
What's in it for the company? What's in
Mm.
it for them?
Yeah.
Why are we performing this task? They need to
Yeah.
be in the know.
Yeah.
And then make sure you motivate them and make sure you pay them and reward them.
This is why I like talking to you. Like might not even be the right word. This is why I love our conversations, because sometimes you hear advice or ideas about business, but from a structural perspective and a action step perspective, sometimes it tends to lack that. And in all of your communication and all of your advice is very process oriented, or it's easy to understand. It's not these long, drawn out, like put me to sleep answers. It's
Love that.
like, man, I think I'm just gonna go back and get a job.
And
Forget
by the
about
way,
it.
it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Once you as a business leader
Mhm.
understands
Yeah.
that your business is all about processes
Yeah.
as well as people,
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
two together, it's not about people only or about processes only, it's
Hmm.
about both
Yeah.
together. Once you
Yeah.
understand this,
Hmm.
you're going to be able to deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. How could working on the vision, having these processes, especially when it comes to self awareness, creating the vision and communicating it, creating the environment for success, how might this impact a leader's ability to attract and retain the right employees, especially in today's market? Because I feel like there's a certain amount of scarcity out there. Like if I ask more specific questions to employees, we're going to turn them away and we really need them. Like I have to hire, right? How could this be have the inverse um, response to that mindset?
One, make sure you treat your company as a living organism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Your company is a group of assets.
Yeah.
If you do not feed that baby
Yeah.
properly,
Hmm.
it's going to decline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is number one. Once those people you're interviewing feel how much your company
Hmm.
matters to you,
Yeah.
you're starting to engage them.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then hire slow.
Hmm.
No matter how much you need the employee,
Hmm.
hire slow.
Yeah. Hmm.
Make sure you interview people
Yeah.
and do not major in minor things.
Hmm.
Do not hire people to do trivial stuff.
Hmm.
Because if you think that what they're doing is trivial, that means they are already disengaged.
Hmm. Hmm.
Make sure you're delegating those tasks that will help you as a business owner
Hmm.
grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then again, engage your prospects early on.
Yeah.
When you ask the right questions during an interview,
Hmm.
when you take your time in the process of hiring, people will start feeling that they are important.
Hmm.
And once you hire the right people, and once you make them feel that they are important to your business,
Hmm.
okay, you need to make sure that they are highly engaged all along, and you keep
Hmm.
doing that.
Hmm.
And then if you think that you made the wrong decision, I hate saying that, but this is what you should do. What the moment you think that the person you hired
Hmm.
is the wrong person for the job,
Yeah.
fire fast.
Yeah.
Your company, again, is a group of assets.
Yeah.
If you do not treat those assets in the right way, those assets are going to depreciate
Mm.
fast.
Yeah.
Do not let your assets depreciate.
Yeah. Wow. I love it, man. I've learned so much just in our short time together. And then we'll have to do another show because I want to dive in, on our next one, perhaps on just what entrepreneurs need to do to make sure that they stay in that self awareness. Like I'm sure that that's a continual thing that we have to continue to become more and more aware because those blind spots are, what we consider to be the ultimate tax. It's the inability to make proper decisions, put in the proper processes and procedures, and not have the right framework for addressing problems as they arise. That I think is a huge barrier for a lot of entrepreneurs. So, as we close out the show, is there anything else that you'd like to impress upon our listeners about the work that you do, who you do it for, or how they can, look forward into 2022 with a clear vision?
Well, all I'm going to say is that I love people. I love meeting people. So just reach out to me for a one-to-one. I love doing one-to-ones. I love learning about businesses in different industries,
Hmm.
and I just love talking to people. And I think you already know that, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely.
Second
uh,
thing is stay strong.
yeah,
The world around us is changing fast. You need to adapt and you need to stay strong.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Awesome. Well, I'll make sure that I put all of your contact information in the show notes and on the blog so people have questions about, especially getting clear about their who they are as a leader, task oriented or people oriented, getting clear about their vision, right? And then getting clear about how to retain and motivate the right employees. So thank you so much for being on the show. I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much, Keith, for giving me the opportunity. And I am looking forward to our next one-to-one.
Yep, you got it. I'll make sure I get that on the calendar.
Thank you, my friends.
Yeah.